Yo, what's up, guys? It's Will, coming at you with this deck profile for my Black Ragna deck that I played at our Sunday locals at TGS in Tinley Park, Sunday, May 2nd. I got third with this list. I have played a different list of Black Ragna before in our locals and got first with it. I just wanted to try some other stuff out, especially with the two-color control deck, red-yellow, being very popular right now, or gaining more popularity. I just wanted to test some cards out. I really didn't like the way that the deck played with these cards in them, namely because nobody at our locals really plays the two-color control deck. Most people at our locals don't really like the deck. So yeah, I will go through some of the changes that I'm going to go back to and make moving forward after I go through the list. But starting it off, we just have the only Digi we play is the 4 Toyagamon. The whole point of the deck is to get up to Ragna, get up to level 7, swinging with him, giving you the extra memory is pretty big sometimes. So we don't want to play like Capuriamon or... Capuriamon's right now the only other black Digi-Egg that's justifiable to play in Black Ragna. I forget what the other black egg is, the rare for the Diabormon line at the moment. Alright, this looks weird. This was supposed to be 4 Toyagamon. I did not have a 4th Toyagamon on me, so I played a Commandramon instead. Ideally, it's supposed to be 4 Toyagamon. There's a specific card in the deck, which is the only reason I wanted to play Toyagamon, and we will talk about that when we get there. It's not a bad card. It's just ideally not the rookie that I would have liked. I would have preferred if it was actually just for Commandramon instead of Toyagamon. Obviously, then we have 3 Gatsaman. 3-cost blocker is pretty big, especially against Ricky Rush. I think that's why Black is, in my opinion, a good choice to play right now. A lot of people are switching back to Ricky Rush with 2-color control gaining a lot of speed. And with a lot of people playing Shine, Ricky Rush is a really good matchup against Shine Greymon. Just because your Digimon are usually dying when you're swinging a security anyways, so Shine's not going to be getting that much value. But being able to block a Vmon swing and survive is really big. So I just feel like that's why Gatsaman is super strong and should be played at 4 in every black deck. And then we're playing Ragna, so obviously we're playing 4 Ludamon. Top 5, grabbing Legend Arms and a Ragna, or sometimes even 2 Ragna, since Ragna is a Legend Arms. We don't play Azubamon. Whether you're playing Red Ragna or Black Ragna, I don't like playing both level 3s because whatever base you're going with, you cannot Digivolve over that other level 3, which is a big problem. We're only playing 2 Ludamon. I just felt like the level 4 for the Ludamon line just wasn't as good as the level 5. And that's just mainly because of the other options for level 4s that you can play are, but I still wanted it to be there in case we had the opportunity to build a stack with something like it in it. And then we played 2 Greymon that gives jamming with Reboot. It's really good for Ragnar to have jamming against decks like Megazoo with that play a high Omnimon count, and that also play Ragnas. You don't want your Ragna dying when you're swinging in security. So it's really important sometimes if you can build up a Ragna with a bunch of security checks with the Greymon under it. Then we play 3 Gardramon. The best level 4 blocker, mainly because it has 7k, which is pretty relevant. It crashes with Pyldramon and Dino Beamon, mainly Dino Beamon, so you can't just freely swing over your blockers. The only real downside, is he cannot attack. So you can't do those, game-winning plays when you have a blocker still up and then you swing with the Gardramon to win because you can't attack. Then we play 4 Tankmon. I think most decks should be playing their 1 cost level 4 Evo or a 1 cost level 4 Evo at 4 copies. It's just the most efficient way to draw cards at the early stages of your chains. For our level 5s, we're playing 2 Greymon with Reboot, or sorry, the Metal Greymon with Reboot. That also has the inheritable of, if it has Reboot, gets Security Tech +1. This is how your Ragna in black is still going to be checking 3+ cards, and that's why I like it a lot more than red, because you have the option to deal this huge chunk of security, but then you also have the option to be able to play the D-Digivolve line. So you have that mix of aggro and control with Black Ragna, which I really, really like. Next level 5 is 3 Andromons. A super good blocker. The fact that there's no penalty for attacking with it is super good at 7k. So again, you know, trades with Dino Beamon and Pyalgemon, stuff like that, to where they're not getting the advantage and keeping those cards on board. Overall, just a really, really solid card to be playing for black. And then 3 copies of the level 5 D-Digivolve inheritable. Just, you know, it's a piece to search off Ludomon when when you need to build up the chain. D-Digivolve comes in super clutch, especially against things like the mirror, where if you can get your Ragna out first, and then if they either make the mistake of pulling out of the raising area, or they don't have an option other than to pull out of the raising area earlier than they need to, keep locking them in at a level 4 or level 5 really, really hurts. For our level 6s, I was testing 2 Craniumon. Craniumon is very, very strong against red Omni, and 2-color control. The only way 2-color control is beating this card is if they have either Glorious Burst, which most decks are only playing 1 or 2 copies of, or they have to use 2 cards to get rid of Craniumon, which is very, very bad for that deck, because the deck heavily relies on doing 1-for-1 trades to keep advantage. The only way that an Eden's Javelin is killing this card is that they have 12 cards in hand, which that deck almost never has, because they're not digivolving to replenish their handful of cards as often as other decks. I wouldn't play it going forward. It's one of the changes I'm going to make. I'm going to go back to playing a certain card that I'll talk about in a little bit. He's just... A 4 for a blocker is just super underwhelming. I get that he can stop all the other blockers from being destroyed, but it is very, very bad against the Shine matchup, and I feel that Shine is played more than 2-color control. So and as well as Red Omni. So while this card is very good against both of those decks, it is basically a useless card against Shine, because it doesn't stop destruction from DPs. And then the other 6 level 6s we play are 3 copies of Bry and 3 copies of Durandamon. Don't really want to play any other level 6s. This is the lineup that I found to be the best for playing Black Ragna. Just because I want to play 2 other level 6s that have functionality in the deck. But I wanted to keep enough count for Ludomon to be able to effectively hit cards. And I believe that there are, by playing 1 Ludomon, you have, I believe it's 17 targets in the deck. I'll count them after we go through the rest of the cards, but I believe it is 17 targets still, which is plenty of targets in my opinion. 1 Alter S. One of the changes I'm going to make is playing a second Alter S. With so many people playing Ricky Rush, just having that extra card to hit Ricky Rush boards is super important, and also just, you know, controlling boards by de-digivolving. Definitely going to be adding a second one in. Then we got our 4 copies of Ragna. Ragna is, in my opinion, probably one of the best super rares in the game. It's a level 7 that only costs 3 to digivolve, and then you can be free if you have the other piece in hand. I see a lot of people that just digivolve over their level 6 and they don't have the other piece because they're hoping to draw it. If you have to do that, I mean, you have to do that, but it is almost always the wrong decision to digivolve without having a piece in your hand to put back in your hand. it being a red Digimon is very important for one of the cards we play. We're playing a Delicate Plan, specifically for the 2-color control deck. Being able to check 3+ of their security without triggering any of the options and getting rid of a lot of their resources is super important. I wish that the card wouldn't have gotten errated to only stop option cards, because frankly, I don't see an issue with stopping security Digimon effects and tamer effects. I just don't see an issue with stopping those cards with an option card. I guess it's a little strong that it's a 1 cost, but the fact that we don't have anything that stops those cards kind of makes them a little stronger, in my opinion, than they should be. 2 Gaia Force, I've tested this card so much in this deck, I don't like it. You're almost never needing to clear something like that. Most times, Ragna's going to have blocker. The only thing that it can't block and trade with is an Omnimon or an Alter S, and that's against maybe a couple matchups. This card's definitely getting taken out. I just don't find it needed. And then we play 2 red tie. So you might be thinking, why aren't you playing black tie? You know, it gives all your blockers, or it gives all your black Digimon plus 1,000 on your opponent's turn, which means like you're not trading with the Andromon and stuff. You're surviving. It is strictly because it gives Ragna an extra security check, and it can give Duranda an extra security check if needed, which can sometimes come in handy. It's just so much more important, in my opinion, to have red tie, because if you have red tie, Metal Greymon under Ragna, and then you can play a Delicate Plan, you're checking 4 security. And then if you have 2 ties, you're checking 5 security and not triggering any options against 2-color control, which means you should almost certainly beat that deck in that scenario. So that's why I'm just playing the red ties over the black ties. I just think that there's more situations that the red tie is going to help you do stuff with the deck. So as far as cards that I would cut moving forward, like I said, the Gaia Forces I'm going to get rid of. The Craniumons I'm going to get rid of. And the Toyagamons I am not going to play. I was only playing Toyagamon for if I could build a stack with Craniumon and then swing with the Craniumon and restand it on their turn. Against the Ricky Rush, I did have a Toyagamon underneath an Andromon, and I was able to slowly chip away at security. But I feel like I would just win that matchup anyways, just by having so many blockers on board that he can just never attack. And then I just Alter S him. So those cards are what's getting cut. So for the Toyagamons, I would just put in the other Commandromons. Having the 2-cost Ricky is just super, super important in my opinion. Sorry. No, I was putting them in the deck right now. I'll do that later. So definitely putting in the Commandromons for the Toyagamons. For the Craniumons, we are going to be putting back in Crescarumon. Crescarumon is super important against the Shine matchup. Being able to put more bodies on board and just apply that pressure when they're trying to value trade with you and keep your board small, super important. Same thing against 2-color control. Being able to put out more bodies when that deck is trying to 1-for-1 trade with you is super important. Plus it has reboot, so you can swing with it inherently, and it'll get the security +1 from the Greymon. It'll get the jamming from the Metal Greymon. It'll get the jamming from the Greymon. I just really like Crescarumon as opposed to Craniumon. Now for the Gaia Forces, one of them is for sure going to be an Alter S. That is just not debatable for me. I'm switching one Gaia Force for an Alter S. The second Gaia Force is going to be one of 3 cards, and I haven't decided yet. I'm going to have to test a lot. I'm either going to put a third Metal Greymon in to have 9 level 5s. One of the issues I found with the deck is actually hitting that level 5. We played 12 rookies, 11 champions, 8 ultimates, 8 megas, and then 6 level 7s moving forward. So I just want to have that extra level 5, maybe. I might just want to play a Chumon just to stop Hammer Spark and Ragna effects. That's super important in my opinion in the mirror, as stopping Ragna, or even against Megas, just stopping Ragna from getting in the memory back. A lot of people forget about it when you Digivolve. And then I've considered playing one copy of Joe, just for the situations where I have a blocker on board and I need to Digivolve into the level 6 for Ragna that turn, and have that extra memory for a delicate plan. So being able to start my turn with 4 memory, and then being able to Digivolve into level 6, Digivolve to Ragna, go back to 1 memory, and still have that memory to be able to play a delicate plan is super, super important in my opinion. But I'm going to have to test a lot with these 3 cards to be able to see which one I would actually add in. But aside from that, these changes over here are for sure being reverted back into the deck or added into the deck. I was playing this before. I really liked it. I really liked how the rest performed, so I want to put a second one in. And then just the Commandromons I feel are just super important, being the 2-cost rookie. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get notified when I put a new video out. Happy dueling, folks, and I will catch you guys later.